Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we're here for the Smackdown Go Home show. I didn't really see a reason for us to start in the office because there was nothing to do there at all. So yeah, we're just going straight into the show to see what happens. And then of course, next episode, i.e. tomorrow, it will be Elimination Chamber. And I'm very, very excited to see what happens there. So yeah, maybe this will be a nice, short, sweet episode. Who knows? Let's not waste any time. And yeah, let's get straight into it. As you can see, we open the show with AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio, our tournament finalists. One of these men will go on to WrestleMania to face the winner of the Elimination Chamber. Of course, they're talking about Cody Rhodes now because he's the existing champion. But will he be champion by the end of Elimination Chamber? We will have to wait and see. AJ Styles speaks first in this promo as they've both made their ways down to the ring, microphones in hand, and he says, Rey, you and me, we've been doing this a long time. You've been setting the standard for years. One of the most recognizable WWE superstars of all time. I, on the other hand, have had a different journey. You know, I've been chasing greatness my whole life, and now, here we both are. One more match. One more shot to go to WrestleMania. One more shot to headline the biggest stage of them all. Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles. May the best man win. AJ Styles then offers his hand to Rey. You know, it's like a gesture of respect. You know, let's shake my hand, boy. Rey Mysterio smiles. The crowd are like kind of eating this all up. He's nodding his head. He completely ignores AJ's hand and lifts his own mic and says, AJ, you know how much I respect you, man. You're one of the best to ever do it in this ring. But respect doesn't win you matches. Heart does. Fight does. And me, I've been fighting my whole life. I've been proving people wrong again and again and again. Ever since I was a kid when I first put on this mask. At Elimination Chamber, I'm not just fighting for another WrestleMania moment. I'm fighting to show the world and also remind myself that I still belong here and I still belong at the very top. AJ kind of chuckles to himself softly, you know, not out of disrespect or anything, but because he's loving this passion. You know, this is what AJ wants. He wants competition. He wants passion. He wants the love of wrestling to be above everything else. He drops his hand, you know, because, you know, it's not being shaken yet. And he kind of paces the ring and he goes, you know, I get that, Rey. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to play mind games and cuss you out. But when that bell rings tomorrow night, I'm going to do what I've always done. And that's outwork everybody. Outfight everybody. Because my story is far from finished yet as well. I'm not just trying to make it to WrestleMania, Rey. I'm trying to win the whole damn thing. As AJ turns and stares down Rey Mysterio. The crowd obviously are like, whoa, let's do this. Rey takes a deep breath and then suddenly steps closer, standing almost nose to nose with AJ now, or like a nose to chin, I guess. And he just raises the mic to the side of his mouth and goes, then you better bring everything you've got. Because I'm not planning on coming to this match. I'm not planning on coming this far just to fall one match short. AJ then fires back and goes, I wouldn't expect anything less, as he once again offers a handshake. The two men stare each other down as Rey eventually shakes AJ's hand and the crowd obviously cheer. One of these men will be going to WrestleMania to compete for the WWE Championship. A nice clean promo. No need for there to be a brawl in every promo. These two guys, you know, their faces, they're good guys at the moment, you know. Rey, all about respect, always kind of has been. AJ Styles, he's here for the love of wrestling, and no one kind of loves wrestling or lucha libre as much as Rey Mysterio. So yeah, I'm hoping this will be a really, really good tournament finals match that will take place in the next episode at Elimination Chamber. And spoiler alert, it's going to open the damn show, because why not? Following on from this, though, we actually have some LWO members in action as they take on NXT's Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance. Random pairing. I didn't think that. Yeah, it didn't do well. That's fine. But in this match, it is. That's a horrible picture of Brooks Jensen. Horrible. It's not even. Yeah. In a fairly decent match, 60 match quality, 31-43 overall, Del Toro and Wild win in convincing fashion. They're far more aggressive than they have been in recent weeks. And when they win, they kick Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance out the ring and barely even celebrate. They take the win and they head out back. So yeah, completely different demeanor and character from Joaquin Wilde and Cruz Del Toro in this one. And yeah, nice little jumping pop. Dropping pop for these two guys, but I don't really care that much. I think they're going to stay in NXT for a while. And yeah, the crowd didn't care about it. That's fine. But we need to build them somehow. So yeah, good win from the two members of LWO, but very odd characters, I guess. But let's head backstage and see what's going on as Alexa Bliss is sat on the floor backstage rewatching highlights from Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton from the Royal Rumble on like an old beat up CRT TV. She lifts up her dusty remote control and flicks the match off, holding Lily, her doll, tightly, and just whispers to Lily, "Only one more game to go, Lily, and then it's our turn to play." And then suddenly the screen just cuts out. So yeah, nice and creepy, nice and eerie from Alexa Bliss. And she says, yeah, one more game, Lily. So I'm guessing that is referencing the Elimination Chamber match where she'll find out who she gets to play with at WrestleMania. Moving on from this and sticking with the women's division, a whole load of people from the women's division are a little bit sick of Chelsea Green as of late. So Naomi, Natalya and Zelina Vega are all in Nick's office as they complain about Chelsea Green and her lack of appearances, her lack of defenses, and they're a little bit annoyed that she's on holiday across PLE. What's that all about? So all of these women, they all want a shot at Chelsea. Nick calms them all down and says while he can't give them all title shots for whatever reason, he might just have an idea that should satisfy everyone. He says Chelsea returns from her vacation after the Elimination Chamber, and I will ensure that she is here next Friday for my announcement. So Nick Aldis has an announcement to make regarding Chelsea Green and the United States title. So we'll have to wait until next Friday to find out exactly what that is. Following on from this, though, we do have some women's action, and it is Piper Niven and Bayley. So Piper on her own because, of course, Chelsea is on holiday. She didn't bring Piper Niven with her, and Bayley gets the win. Jesus Christ, Piper dropped massively here. That's not good. And Bayley didn't. She would have gained, but she's got a lack of momentum. Interesting. So we need to get Bayley some more matches under her belt. And Piper's got a wave of momentum, but she dropped massively. What's that about? 71 overall, though. I'll take that. Also, a 13-minute match, and Piper's struggling for breath. Come on, Piper. Jesus Christ. We might just have to amend that, because Piper can go. I know that she's a bigger girl, but she can go. She doesn't get gassed easily. But yeah, good win for Bayley, I guess. No pop gain, but we'll sort that eventually. 71, 72, 71. Moving on from this, though, Rey Mysterio catches up with Del Toro and Joaquin Wilde backstage as he wants to know what the hell was up with that match that they just had and questions their aggression. Del Toro says that they haven't been winning the way that they usually play, so they thought they'd mix it up. And also, in recent weeks, they've been taking some pointers and doing some training with Andrade, who's been really, really helping them. Rey then kind of suddenly snaps and says, steer clear from Andrade. He's bad news. He's not LWO. He doesn't have the right morals. You need to steer clear of him. Wilde then chimes in. He gets a little bit brave and he says, well, who else are we supposed to turn to when our so-called leader is busy focusing on himself and his WWE Championship tournament? You've kind of dropped the ball, Rey. You haven't been around. Andrade has. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of tension going on here between LWO members and Rey Mysterio. Rey, he's allowed to be selfish, but also there has been a little bit of neglect, I guess, whereas Andrade is more than happy to help out the LWO members. And speaking of someone that Andrade has been helping out, Rey Fenix is in action as he takes on Apollo Crews. And yeah, a fairly decent match. You know, the crowd didn't care about this, and that's probably because of Apollo Crews. 47 match crowd reaction, 69 match quality, and a 56 overall. Good win from Rey Fenix. A nice little bump and pop. Apollo Crews is dropping. Honestly, I think he's either going to end up in NXT soon or his contract will expire. I don't know how long his contract's for, but yeah, he might be gone soon. Following on from this though, Kevin Owens is Smackdown. We made the change last week or the week before, and he is here. He is officially Smackdown, and he is here for his debut as he looks to take on Smackdown's very own Chad Gable. And in a very, very good match, 5-star, 95 match quality, Kevin Owens gets the win over Chad Gable. And you know what? He didn't win with the stunner, because I hate the stunner. Kevin Owens is bringing back the pop-up powerbomb, and he wins this match with the pop-up powerbomb. They've got good chemistry together, so that's something I need to remember. Huge amount of momentum from Gable, so let's try not to ruin that too much. And yeah, really, really good match here. The match was so good that Gable barely lost popularity in North America and gained it everywhere else. And Kevin Owens, of course, jumping up in pop. 88 from the crowd, 95 match quality, 91 overall. Love it. We head backstage now as DIY are with Jackie Redmond, as Ciampa just leads the talk in this interview. He doesn't really give Gargano a chance to say anything. He says that DIY, you know, we fear no one. You know, we're ruthless, we're aggressive, you know, we're dominant. You know, we've already beaten everyone on this SmackDown roster. So if anyone wants to step up again, come and get it. And we're just going to do exactly what we've been doing week in, week out for as long as we've had these belts. Gargano's, you know, quite quiet, almost disinterested in what Ciampa's saying. That is until Nick Aldis walks in. And Nick says that while DIY are not defending their titles at Elimination Chamber, they most definitely will be at WrestleMania. And next week, a tag team tournament will begin to decide who their opponents will be. Ciampa looks fired up, hungry, ready to go. He's like, bring them on. Let's do this. Gargano just looks a little bit annoyed with Ciampa. So yeah, the tension between these two is building. Ciampa doesn't really seem to notice it. If anything, he kind of berates Gargano and then cracks on with it. Whereas Gargano's just starting to kind of lose the tag teamness of being a tag team, I guess. But yeah, another good segment here. Nice little jump. Jackie getting some pop. You know, we thought we gave Kathy a little break. And yeah, Nick Aldis announcing tag team tournament starting next week on SmackDown to decide their opponents. But now it is our main event, and it's not a match. It's where the Elimination Chamber participants all meet face to face, and this is a long-ish script, so I'll do my best to keep it interesting. But yeah, here they all are in the ring, all 6 of them. So all 6 Elimination Chamber participants are standing in the ring, all with a mic in hand. Nick Aldis is ringside with a line of security to ensure that no funny business takes place tonight, especially with us being 24 hours away from Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes, of course, is the first to speak. He steps forward, championship slung over his shoulder, and he talks about how brutal the Elimination Chamber is, how it's ended careers and changed lives, but that he is ready to survive it all. He says that his journey, his story that he's been fighting to finish, demands that he goes through the chamber and hell one more time. You know, he's being a bit melodramatic here. But he then tries to shift the mood a little bit, you know, rallying the men around him, talking about leading by example. You know, for some of you, it's your first chamber. Show no fear. You can do this. However, it comes off quite preachy and, you know, self-centered. Cody's really trying to steal the spotlight. And you can tell that the other participants are not interested in a single thing Cody says. So before Cody can even finish his words, Carmelo Hayes steps right up to him, shaking his head, and just snaps. And he gets right in Cody's face, says, "Man, nobody wants to hear a pep talk. You ain't the leader you think you are. You ain't any of our leaders. You're just the guy who happens to be champion for now." The crowd pops hard because, you know, they're like, well, go on, Mello, you can do this. You know, Mello's oozing confidence. He ain't looking up to Cody. He's targeting him. LA Knight then steps in, you know, siding more with Mello, but still putting in his own jabs to Cody and says, ain't nobody in that locker room looking for Cody damn Rhodes to tell him how to be champion. Nah, because when that bell rings on Saturday, I'm not taking orders from no one. I'm taking titles. Yeah, and LA Knight will be strutting his way to WrestleMania as the WWE champion. Yeah. The crowd then respond with their own yeah in response, as Cody's smile that he did have at the beginning of this promo now fades into a scowl. You know, he's a little bit pissed now. Across the ring, Shinsuke Nakamura is just kind of laughing softly. You know, he's not interested in cutting promos. He's just pacing slow circles around the others, refusing to speak, just kind of there as a presence. But just when you feel like you can't be any more against Cody, Seth Rollins eventually steps into the middle of the ring. He begins to laugh and mockingly clap at Cody Rhodes' inspirational speech, and just says, isn't it cute? The American nightmare trying to play daddy to us all, trying to be everyone's hero. But the reality is, Cody, when that door slams shut in the Elimination Chamber, you're not going to be leading anyone. Oh, sorry, you're not going to be leading anyone. You're going to be locking yourself inside with 5 guys who will do anything to take that title and book their ticket to WrestleMania. The crowd cheer loudly. You know, Cody's getting more and more frustrated by, you know, everyone's kind of against him. He's realized, shit, I'm the target. Now it's Jacob Fatu's turn. You know, he's been silent the entire time. He's kind of been building and boiling. You can see he's been like fidgeting in his feet, I guess. And he finally steps forward, nudging Seth out the way, you know, kind of pushing through Seth. And Seth's like, whoa, what the fuck? And says, all this talk, you know, all of you are soft. In that chamber, I ain't coming to win the hearts of the universe. I ain't here to be a leader or someone to look up to. I'm coming to stack all of your bodies. I'm going to break all of you, and then you can all look up to me. Literally, when you're lying on your backs. He then throws the mic at Rollins and squares up to him. Rollins doesn't back down. In fact, Rollins is like laughing as he shoves Fatu first, and immediately the brawl that Nick Aldis didn't want to happen erupts. Fatu headbutts Seth as Rollins drops to his knee. Carmelo Hayes then blindsides Cody with a stiff forearm shot to the jaw. LA Knight and Nakamura start trading wild punches in the corner. Cody grins and then tackles Carmelo to the mat, fists flying. Seth recovers and dives into the pile, swinging wildly at anyone in the way. Fatu can see that Nick Aldis has just ordered security to enter the ring, and he just begins mowing down everyone that comes into the ring as they try and restrain him, as Fatu just chucks them all outside the ring. Every member of security out of the ring in a little pile. The chaos is just wild. All 6 men are brawling all over the ring. They're spilling to the ringside. They're doing all of their shit. Shinsuke hits a brutal kick to one of the security guards' guts, knocking him into the barricade. LA Knight shoves Seth face first into the turnbuckle, you know, banging him, kicking him down, stomping a mud hole. Fatu throws a guard over the top rope like a rag doll. Through the carnage, Jacob Fatu climbs to the top rope, towering over everyone, spreads his arms wide, and launches himself at the small crowd of security guards at ringside. The final shot kind of shows all 6 men, 5 of them in the ring, Fatu on the outside, all staring each other down, nursing a different wound, a different body part, as the commentators hype this Elimination Chamber match as we end our go home show. And that is how we end Smackdown. Nice match, nice show, 83%, love it. We've got AJ Rey Mysterio at Elimination Chamber. LWO are taking advice from Andrade now because Rey's busy. Alexa Bliss is keen to find out who she will face at WrestleMania. Will it be Bianca? Will it be Tiffany? We'll have to wait and see. Nick's got an announcement next week regarding the US title, and there's a tag team title tournament starting too. Kevin Owens made his debut and won, which is awesome. And then, of course, the 6 participants have a big old fight to end the show as, all of these men seem to be targeting Cody Rhodes. So, yeah, let's go back to the office and see what's going on. And of course, we can't advance any days because Elimination Chamber is happening on Saturday. So yeah, let's just wait till we get through this. Let's take a look. I don't think there's any Friday shows that we look at, so I'm not even going to bother going to the calendar. I'll just recap the matches that are taking place. So let's just go through here. Smackdown makes a bunch of money. Mina has signed exclusively with NXT and has left Stardom and left AEW, so she is officially in. Awesome. Okay, so just to confirm the final card for Elimination Chamber, I don't want to click on it because you guys will see what's going on. But it will be AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio in the tournament finals. The winner will go to WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. The WWE Championship will be decided in an Elimination Chamber. That will be one of Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, or Carmelo Hayes. We also have a fatal 4-way from Raw between all members of Damage Control. One of those women will win and will face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania matches, we also have the 3-way between Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. Winner of that match will face Gunther at WrestleMania. And then also we have the Women's WWE Championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair, with Nick Aldis at ringside to ensure there's no funny business. Whoever wins that title will then face Alexa Bliss, our Royal Rumble winner, at WrestleMania. And then finally, the Intercontinental Championship is on the line, where Karrion Kross, who has been playing mind games and attacking Bron Breakker relentlessly, will finally, well, I guess Bron will finally get his hands on Karrion Kross as he puts his title on the line for that Intercontinental title. Karrion Kross, Bron Breakker. I could have said that a lot more simply, but hey ho. Those, I believe, are all the matches on the card. In the next episode, all the matches will be listed in the description as well. So before watching, make sure you check that out. And yeah, that's it. The Go Home shows are done. We are heading into Elimination Chamber. I'm very excited. Let's get into it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see each and every one of you in the next one. Thank you.